Hey everyone, it's Justin from Black Bear Creative, and today we've got a video answering or unpacking the question of, is my brand outdated? So what is a brand identity? A brand identity is pretty much the visual system used in communicating your brand message. It's not just the logo itself. It's everything that the logo also touches. Wherever your brand communicates visually, that's part of the brand identity system. It's not just your logo. Your logo is part of that. Your logo touches a lot of different marketing collateral or marketing platforms that you use. Websites, business cards, flyers, brochures, you name it. It touches a lot of things. So when we create a system for it, a brand identity system, that's what it includes. How does it interact with everything? What does it look like on every single platform? So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about brand identity systems. First one is pretty basic. Do you even like your current brand identity? Or do you like your logo? If the answer is no, that's a good sign that something's wrong there. Do you feel confident using it? So if you're at a networking event and you give out a couple of business cards, or do you have that inner self-conscious thing where you're sort of hoping, oh no, what happens when they look on my website? What happens when they look at my business card? Are they going to judge me, or are they going to think differently of me? And so that's one sign that your current brand identity doesn't align with how you see yourself and how you see your business. Another thing to consider as well is, just because you don't like your current brand identity doesn't mean you should be changing it. So take McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nike. Their brand identity, their logo, the system they use hasn't changed much over generations. And by doing that, constantly repeating and reinforcing that mark over time, it's to a stage where globally, anyone can really just remember that mark from the top of their head and draw it without even looking at it, because it's been reinforced constantly over generations. So the longer you stick with it or use it, the better. So, but unless there's a lot of fundamental things that need to change, just keep that in mind when you're deciding whether looking at a total rebrand is the right way to go. The other thing to consider is there any major shifts in your business or your company culture? When you start off, your brand values, the way you operate your business is completely different to how you move and operate in the next 5-10 years. So things change. So yeah, you want to make sure there's no disconnect to how you were perceived in the past, or how you guys operate in the past, to how you do business today. Another one to think about is, how does your brand identity compare to everyone else in your industry? So this is a very easy one. If you lined up, for instance, if it's just talking about logos, line up your logos compared to everyone else, or line up your website compared to all your competitors. See for yourself, are you hitting the mark? Does your current marketing collateral looks like it's a couple of years outdated compared to the guy next door? So that's another easy visual way to see if your current brand identity is dated. So some technical things to think about is, can your current brand identity scale with the use of smaller digital devices? Does it look good when it's small? Does it look good when it's big? Is it easily recognizable on any sort of size platform? If there's any issues there, that's something to consider. So test it out. Test your logo when it's on a small app size compared to a massive big banner. See if there's any issues there. And another technical detail is, when you hand off your logo files to, say, a developer or a designer, do they cringe at you when they look at the file? Are you sending them like a Microsoft publishing file that was done back in the 90s? Or is there something there where it's not compatible with new software, and causes more issues when people are creating content for you? So If you've got some real old file types, that could be a sign to maybe, update and try something new. So that's it for today. Are there any sort of things you think about when you're making big decisions in terms of changing anything within your branding and your business? Would like to know, so pop them in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.